Midtown East today. Just got done with a meeting, just got done with coffeeing and laptoping. I'm hungry. It's time for a sweet green adventure. Here's beautiful Madison Square Park. People are out and about today. It's only like 65 degrees, middle of June. Things are hectic. This is my favorite coming up. We got the Empire State, got this beautiful church, and then you got the financial district with a Flatiron. Gosh dang it, Sweet Green, this is a line. It's out of the freaking door. Gonna move on. Look at how pretty this is. I'm just going to another Sweet Green. Still a big line, but it's a little bit better. We made it, guys. We made it. I'm so freaking hungry right now. How are you guys doing today? Doing well? I'm at Bed Bath & Beyond. New apartment, need a lot of new stuff. The main thing is curtains to cover my gigantic window and towels and stuff. So much stuff. This is so ridiculous. I did it! Bed Bath & Beyond, check. Still a few errands of things that I need to get, but honestly, the only thing I need to be doing right now is organizing this. And also this curtain thing for these windows. They're so massive, I don't know the solution. A lot of curtains are hideous, like really, really ugly. I wish I could find just one solid panel that I could press a button and it could just like come down or go up with a push button, a button. Honestly, that probably exists, but it's probably like $1 million. I don't know if you can see it, but this chair is spray painted on. Timmy Ham did this chair for me. It was one of my first YouTube collabs. I'll link it here. Anyways, I promised you guys two things in yesterday's vlog. Who are the Hustle NY winners? Hustle NY is a networking New York City party that I throw with a lot of cool people involved. Number two is what are my thoughts on Apple's WWDC? So here are the Hustle NY winners, congratulations. WWDC is Apple's worldwide developers conference. And actually, before I get into the meat of all of this Apple stuff, let me just highlight something that stood out to me. The Apple website, how they're showing all of these beautiful products. First thing that stood out to me, no more Helvetica New. That was the font that they used for everything. The past year, they actually developed their own font in-house in California called San Francisco. Quite fitting, right? So this is the font that litters the entire website. Honestly, it looks good. But check out the webpage. It flows so nicely. It loads, but it's actually very interactive. The way the beautiful pictures keep moving, but then the text will scroll over it. It gets to the point. It tells you the information you need to know. And it's just pretty to look at. Aesthetics. I really think their post-WWDC website showing off all these products is kind of goals. So let's get into it. Top 5 things from WWDC. My top 5 at least. The beautiful matte black iMac Pro. Not Mac Pro, not MacBook Pro, but this is an iMac on a Pro level. Available to order in December. The price point starts at $4,999 and you can get it all the way up to 10K if you max this thing out. Normally computers have a 1G Ethernet port. iMac Pro says screw that, we're gonna put a 10G Ethernet port in there so you can share all the files. up to an 18-core Xeon processor. You get 11 teraflops, up to 22 teraflops, half precision. Honestly, I had no idea what the heck a freaking teraflop was, but I did do a little anchor segment about it, so I'll put that at the end of the video if you're interested into what a teraflop is. Just know if you got teraflops, you got power. 5K Retina display, 27-inch screen, up to 128 gigs of memory. Holy crap. I got 16 gigs in my computer right now. Radeon Pro Vega graphics card, and up to 4 terabytes of storage SSD. That is a beast of a computer, but if you want it all maxed out, it's gonna be like a 9-10K computer. So a lot of you guys ask, Sarah, shouldn't you just get an iMac Pro opposed to a maxed out PC? No, because again, I want a lot of power for a very cheap price point. Of course, the iMac Pro I would drool over, but I don't want to spend that type of money right now. It's going to be a gorgeous machine though. And also, you were like, why don't you just switch to Final Cut? That churns through 4K on Macs. I'm a loyal Adobe Premiere user. I have to use that software, so there's just, you know? So to me, the iMac Pro was the #1 thing that stood out. I think it's going to be a killer machine, and if you got the dough, spend it. #2 is the MacBook Pro. They updated these MacBooks with Touch Bar, still no SD card. I don't think we're ever gonna get the SD card slot back. That is honestly something that kills me on the inside. I don't want to commit to that dongle life, but now that with this series of MacBook Pros, they updated the processors to a Kaby Lake processor, gives you a little bit more of that processing power, and now the SSDs in the MacBooks are 50% faster. The graphics are faster on this machine. They start at $12.99. You can go up to $23.99. And beyond that, if you want to load up the SSD storage, maybe more memory. This was exciting for me to hear because I was waiting to upgrade my MacBook, but with this announcement, I think I will be upgrading my MacBook very, very soon. Who knows if the MacBook will come before the PC, but regardless, I'm yearning for more computer power. If you have the new MacBook right now, I'm curious, do you use the Touch Bar? It seems useless for me now. How much do you miss the SD card slot? Are you about that dongle life? The dongle life? I don't want to be a part of the dongle life. I'm gonna have to. #3 on my list is AirPods. They did not talk about this at WWDC, but it is a very important update. I live and breathe in my AirPods. Right now, the only function you have is to double tap either ear and it activates Siri. You can change that to pause play, but that's your only option. But now with the software update, you can program each ear to do something different. So I can program this ear when I double tap to activate Siri, and this ear when I double tap to skip the song or up the volume. Yes, I've been waiting for that. A huge update to software on the iPad. I was just having a discussion with my father right before this WWDC of how pointless iPads are. Why would I ever own an iPad? This update is making iPads more and more like a computer. They have a very clutch new app called Files. It's basically a way to save and preview files just like on your Mac, which is amazing. It's going to make organizing things on your iPad much more effective, sharing, creating, all of those things. Yes, they're getting a little bit more powerful with each update, but this software change is so clutch because not only do you get that Files app, but also iPads are becoming more like computers every single day, and they give you a dock as well, like a little Mac dock on the bottom of your iPad. One more thing to mention about software is in iOS, you can now pay people like Venmo or PayPal within messages. So I owe a friend $10 for lunch. Within messages, I can send them $10, and that's that. It goes straight to your Apple card or whatever, and you can use that for whatever, but you can also transfer it straight to your bank. Last but certainly not least is something that every company is doing right now, and it's the pod things. Apple released a Homepod, which they're pushing as a speaker rather than a virtual assistant. Of course, Siri is gonna be on there and you can talk to her all the time, but they're really pushing sound quality and how it interacts with Apple Music. Something I've been wanting to talk about a lot is Apple Music. I'm a Spotify user personally, but the social features that they added to Apple Music this time around gets me interested. You can share playlists with friends. You can throw music in a queue if you're listening to it on the HomePod. I love that I can follow people and people can follow me on Spotify and they can see what I'm listening to. So once those social features hit Apple Music, I'm curious. I might switch over. We shall see. Do you use Apple Music? Do you use Spotify? Which one? There's obviously so much more we can talk about it, but we'd be sitting right here all day. I could talk about it forever. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me know your thoughts on all of this Apple stuff that has come come up. Let me know if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button down below for new videos every single week. Every single week. New videos every single week. Stay peachy. Okay, bye. I know you were sitting there watching WWDC, same as me. What the heck is a teraflop, Sarah? What is a teraflop? I don't know. So I had to look it up. So basically, in the context of them announcing the new iMac Pro that looks so gorgeous and powerful, you know, it's that pretty matte black, like who doesn't want that? But they said it goes up to 11 teraflops. 11 teraflops, okay? Or wait for it, up to 22 teraflops with half precision. Whatever that means. So I had to look it up. What is a teraflop? So apparently it's just a very general way to quantify computing power. So I looked up flop, like what does a flop mean? So the definition of a flop is floating point operations per second. So a floating point is a number with a decimal point. So it's not as simple as an integer, but it's literally just a number with a decimal point. So a number of those a computer can do by second is a way computer scientists can measure computing power. So let me say that again. So a number of flops a computer can do by second is a way computer scientists can measure computing power. Okay, so that's kind of like super general. So that means a teraflop is 1 trillion flops. So that means, you know, 1 teraflop times 11 is 11 trillion flops, which it's just basically saying, wow, you got flops, you got power. Am I right? Or am I right? For a little bit of context, a very popular GPU that is in a lot of computers is the I've never known actually how to say this company. Is it NVIDIA? It's NVIDIA. I see it all the time, but I never knew how to say it. But the NVIDIA GTX 1080 is 8.9 teraflops for some context. Anyways, teraflops